Everybody, welcome to Hogville.net's the Arkansas Razorback Football Report with Otis, Kirk. I'm Jason, and I want to thank you all for jumping on with us today. Make sure you guys have any questions, thoughts, throw those up there, and we'll get those answered for you. So let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Otis Kirk. Otis, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. It's just another day in paradise. Just one day I don't have to cry about my Lakers losing, so I've got a little bit of a smile for that, man. They live one more day, two more days today and tomorrow. So
yeah,
that's that. But no, I'm doing good. It's been busy with the portal, seeing recruits nearly every day. They're bringing them in.
Yeah.
Fortunately, got more coming in than are going out the door, leaving. So that's been good. But more of my stories have been about who they're trying to get, and they got three portal kids and one high school kid in the last few weeks, couple of weeks. They picked up Anthony Switzer this week, and then they got the high school kid from Alabama. So I'd forgotten about. I've got an email. Pig Trail Nation. So I'm not talking about that kid. I forgot about. I'm so portal brained. I forgot about the high school kid actually committed this week. So you and I were talking about. We were talking about where to tell people to go to check this stuff, and it brought my attention about the high school kid because that's who we were talking about. And hell, I didn't even tell Pig Trail Nation I'm going to talk about him today. I completely forgot him. I had all portal stuff on there, but that's what's dominating right now is the transfer portal. But Arkansas did pick up a 2025 commitment. But I love Switzer, man. Anthony Switzer. He is just. That's a great pickup. I mean, he's made to play that bandit or hog position. It's been called bandit. Hog, nickel, it's called so much, but hog is what they're calling it now. And he's born for that. And this kid says he's calling the hogs before he learned to walk, and I believe it. I met Anthony, and he's one of a kind. I need to get him on one of these, your show or Pig Trail Nation 1. I'm sure you'll do. Well, we've got to get him before he reports, but because once he gets there, I don't know how stickler they are about that. But I do need. I do know he'd be good because he's a very good talker. He's heck be a hog, man. He'd be great. I'll tell you, Rodney Hill will be another good one. It's very good, and he wants to come on. So I need to talk to him. Got to get him before they report though, which is late May, early June.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have that small window that we can bring somebody on without having to go through communication quite yet.
And I'm going to be gone for a week in May, so I'm flying out on the 16th, I believe a Thursday. If that's the 16th, whatever that Thursday is, I'm flying out, and I'll be gone for a week, so I won't be here. So we only got a very small window.
Yep. So if you have any questions about portal news, anything about recruits that are coming on, go to Kirk's Corner on Hogville.net, and Otis will have all of those questions answered for you. Sometimes it takes him a little longer to get to those questions, but if you go on to Kirk's Corner, most of those questions he'll have already answered for you. So make sure to jump onto that area.
Here's what we were talking about. And look, people, I don't mind you messaging me asking a question. I really don't. Twitter, I see it most time. Facebook, people will ask me questions. And guys, when I'm on Facebook, 99% of the time, I'm either putting my story or Dudley's story or Jason's story, putting one of our stories on there, or I'm chatting Christie. That's what I do on there. I'm not really scrolling. And sometimes I do if I'm bored, but most of the time, and there were some questions the other day on Facebook. It was like 12 hours before I saw them. And the questions they were asking was about the safety from Alabama that didn't commit one day like he was supposed to. He changed it till the next day. And people were asking about that and assuming they got to thinking he went somewhere else. And the answer was on Hogville, Kirk's Corner if they had gone on there. Look, like I said, I don't mind you asking me questions. That's not what I'm saying. I don't see them. It may be 12 hours or a day before I see it. I may never see it on Facebook. If it's buried in a post, I may never see it. But if and even if you message me, sometimes it's better to use Messenger and message me because I'm serious. If you put it on a post in Facebook and it gets buried, I'm probably never going to see it. If I do, I can assure you, if I do see it, it's going to be later. And so, but most like that question, they could have found the answer on Kirk's Corner right there on Hogville. And I'm not going to lie, it helps our traffic numbers. Lanny knows that stuff. Pig Trail, KNWA, all of them know those traffic numbers better than I do. I don't keep up with that. I do what I do, and if it gets numbers, it gets them. If it doesn't, I'll try to do better. But I don't even talk those numbers with them, so I don't know how they're doing. But I'm just saying, it does help us if you go to Hogville. I do know it helps Lanny's numbers in sell advertising, or if nothing else, maybe it just helps. And so it helps. Lanny understands all that stuff. I don't try. I just know it. But I do know that you can get the answers to a lot of your questions. And two, if you don't find it on there, ask it on there and put it in a post. Ask it there. I will see it there more out than on. If you bury it, like I said, if you put it on Facebook and bury it in the post, I'm not going to see it. And if I do, it's going to be really later, a lot later. And like I said, I have no problem with people messaging me. I don't. I did tell people to stop ringing in your hands about the basketball recruit. First place, I don't really work basketball recruiting. Second, Calipari is going to be fine. He came in with no players. There's no use ringing your hands about Calipari recruiting. Now, you may worry about him coaching them and getting the best record. That's fine. But recruiting, that man is he's unreal. He will get the basketball recruit. But the main thing I'm saying, this is a microwave world we live in, man. People expect him to come in 2 days later, 13 scholarships be filled. It doesn't work that way, people. So I just say, don't ring. Just I tell everybody, I tell Christy all the time, don't worry about things you can't control. I mean, you go to the grave, put yourself in the grave, worrying about things and you have no control.
That's great life advice too.
I'm human. I do it. I'm human. But I can give, like I told you at the game, you and Drake and Jerry, I can give out good advice. I don't follow it, but I can give out great advice. I don't follow it. But it sounds good to say it, and I know it's the right thing, even though I don't do it myself. Of course, I worry about things I have no control over. But it does sound good to say that.
No, it does. Yeah. Also, speaking of sounding good, we got some rain that we've had hit Northwest Arkansas since last night. I'm glad that they moved the baseball game up to a doubleheader yesterday, because there would have been no way in the world they could have gotten this in today. I'm telling you. Also, thoughts and prayers go out to Sulphur, Oklahoma. Last night, they had 3 tornadoes, 3 hit the town within last night, yesterday.
Wow. I saw
with all of this front that came through.
Tornadoes coming to Oklahoma yesterday. I saw that. I didn't know one. Much less 3 hit in one city. I had not seen that. I've been busy this morning chasing portal kids, but as usual. But that's sad, man. I mean, I've never lost anything in a tornado. I did have my house burnt back in 2004 or 2005. That's a helpless feeling, man. You sit there and watch everything you got blown away or burned up, and I'm trying to turn this about me, but I'm just saying, man, that's a tough situation. Everything you got is in that house, and it comes through there, and, and that tornadoes are, I mean, fortunately, we don't have a whole lot of them here. If they do, but those are, I mean, there again, man, those things are dangerous.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. 3 in one night. I've never, a day or one night, whatever it was, I've never heard of that.
My wife was telling me about it. Yeah, she was telling me about it this morning, and I said, "There's no way. There's no way." And by God, I looked it up, and it's on all of Twitter. It's all over the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of having rain go through?
I was on that yesterday, and I saw where they said Oklahoma. They had it like RDS, real dangerous storms, or so I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong initials, but they said what it stood for, and it was real dangerous storms. I think RDS, but whatever it was, that's they had that on there, and they said it's rare for that to be issued like that. So I knew Oklahoma was under threat, and so I had not seen what happened, but it doesn't surprise me because I was on X yesterday afternoon during the draft. Of course, I was checking some stuff and the draft in the baseball game, or Razorback baseball game in the NFL draft, and I saw that, and I saw that those initials, and I saw what they stood for. So I knew Oklahoma was in some possible trouble, man. That's sad.
Yeah. I know that it doesn't stand for Richard Davenport swag, so I'm not gonna.
He has no swag, man. He has no swag. And you tell him I said that. Davenport
love that guy.
He like me. He's just no man. He's like me. He's worse than I am, man. He messed me. You're going to take a nap. Hell, he's always taking a nap. I love Davenport, man. I'm just giving him hell.
He's great. Him and Danny both, man.
I like
They're
him
great.
and Danny, man. I have no way. I love those guys, but yeah, Hardy, yeah, he's no, it's not Richard Davenport is swag, man. It's definitely not that. I'm sure you'll hear about this. I hope he does, and I said it too.
So we have a couple of housekeeping things that I need to take care of really quick. So Friday, our first live show with Dudley and I at the Razorback Diamond Report live at Torchy's here in Rogers. Dudley had a trivia question, and that was for, and I'm going to bring this picture up here real quick if I can find it, because it was a let's see here. I might have it. Give me just 2 seconds here to see if I can bring this up. It was a bobblehead. I don't think it's going to bring it for me. That's okay. It was a bobblehead set of Tusk that's been provided to us by the Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum that we're partnering with Hogville.net. And the question was, how many strikeouts did Hagen Smith have coming in to the Florida series this weekend for the 2024 season? And Mike Perriman was the first person that got it right with 100. So he will win a full set of 6 of the Tusk bobbleheads. And we'll get all of his information and stuff, and we'll get back to him. Now, next week, Otis.
Good job, Mike. I suck at trivia, man. I suck at trivia. No, I do. I really do. People think it's because I'm a sports guy and cover so much and keep up with, pro college, that I know all this stuff, and I suck at trivia. I really do. I would be the last person you would want on your trivia team if you had a team. I'm all seriousness when I say that. I'm not good at trivia. I can remember stuff. I can't tell you the year and I'm not a numbers guy, man.
So next week, Otis, you're going to be tasked with coming up with a Arkansas Razorback football trivia question, and we'll do your giveaway next week. I wanted to space this out, do one a week, and so on and so forth. So next week, you'll have a question that you'll post to the masses that follow us here on Hogville.net, and see if you can get it right.
It will be, does Richard Davenport have swag? And the answer will be hell no. And whoever says that first, they get the bobbleheads, man. You like that? That's the trivia question. Does Richard Davenport have swag? No.
Oh, my gosh.
He's going to call me later today, man. He's going to call me later today. I'm going to hang up on him. I'll come up with one. I'm serious. But I'm sorry. That was pretty good. You came up with that idea.
Yeah.
RD's great.
Oh, man.
He's great. I've talked to him 3 or 4 times already this morning. We've been chatting on the phone, but now he'll call me this afternoon. He's been texting me. He'll call me this afternoon. Like I said, he better not call while I'm watching something I really like, because I won't answer the phone. I'll blow him.
He might just call you just to piss you off.
Fortunately, the Lakers are not playing today. I don't know if the Yankees are on free TV or not. I don't get the NBA. I'm sorry, the Major League Baseball ticket. Yeah. I don't get that. I'm not enough into baseball to do that. I don't have time to sit through 3 and 4 hour baseball games. I'm talking about pro. I'm not about Razorbacks. When I say baseball, people thought I was trashing the Razorbacks the other night. I'm talking about pro baseball. I didn't watch any of the NCAA tournament. I watched maybe 10 minutes of the NCAA basketball tournament. But it's not that I hate Arkansas basketball. I'm just not a big college basketball guy. I watch the Razorbacks, football, basketball, baseball. But but when I say I don't like college, when I said I didn't like baseball, look, I used to be Yankee. Baseball was my favorite sport, and the Yankees just burnt me out on it, man. And Brian Cashman and little Steinbrenner, they burnt me out on it, man. I still like it. I don't hate it. I just said that, but I don't hate it. But man, Cashman, I guess so. I stay mad at him all the time when you're sports, and you don't want to stay mad because it's stupid. So I just don't. Yeah. I'm not, that, and it costs a lot of money too. I'm not going to sit there. I do pay for the NBA ticket, but I'm not going to pay for the major. I will get the football NFL ticket this year. I've had that before. I will get that this year because of the Rams and Cam Curl and Bo Limmer too. Bo Limmer.
Yep.
So, well, the Rams, though, Yankees are actually on free TV a lot, or like Major League Baseball Network or Fox. They're on there a lot. The Yankees are like the Lakers, Celtics. They're on TV a lot, free TV. I could see a lot of Lakers games and not get the NBA ticket because they're on TV more than any team. I would think probably. I think the Lakers are on them or Golden State or Boston, whatever. But Yankees, I see enough. Without that, but the NFL, we never see the Rams. We see the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and I get it. I'm not griping. I get it, but I'm going to get the NFL ticket so I can watch the Rams games this year because I love the Rams. I watched them when I could last year. They just never. I think I may have seen the playoff game I saw against Detroit. Man, that was a heck of a game, and I saw them play Dallas. They got killed in that game, but I don't know if I saw one or two other. I don't know if I saw any other games besides the playoff and the Cowboys. I guess I saw them play the 49ers. The 49ers at the end of the year, and they beat the 49ers at the end. I saw that game, so I thought 3, and nobody cares about that. I get it. I'll move on. But I'm just saying I will get the NFL ticket this year, too. But I can't really afford the Major League. For as much as I could watch the Major League ticket, I don't know what it costs, but it's not worth it to me for the amount of games I would have time to sit down and watch.
Yeah. I agree there. I do understand your point because with the NFL Sunday ticket, you've got one Saturday, and that's it, or one Sunday, I should say. And you have it sprinkled in a Thursday night game and a Sunday night game and a Monday night game. But for the majority of it, it's just one day instead of 7 days a week, like what MLB is.
Well, the Rams weren't supposed to be very good last year. It turned out they were. Yep. Now they're supposed to be pretty good. They will be on free TV more than they were last year. I mean, they just work, and I understood why because I thought they'd win 3 or 4 games last year. And they ended up making the playoffs. And I'm a diehard. And I thought they'd win 3, 4 max. And the way it started out, it looked that way. So they'll be on free TV more this year, like on Monday night, Thursday night, and all that good stuff. But I'm still gonna get the ticket this year, because I want to watch that. I love Kim Curl, man. He's my favorite player in the NFL. When I woke up, I had seen he was going to the Seahawks. That's a fraud report because he was. If he hadn't gone to the Rams, he was going to the Tennessee Titans. He wasn't going to the Seahawks, Jason. I got that straight from the horse's mouth. He was going to the Titans, and he switched. The last second, he switched to the Rams. Seattle was not a real. That was a false. I don't know who reported that. It wasn't anybody local here. It was somebody. I don't remember who reported it, but I saw that and I was sick. I thought, man, but I want him and Hunter Henry both on the Rams.
Yeah, that'd have been.
And Henry went back to not the Celtics, the Patriots. Yeah, and I really wanted Hunter at tight end, and I wanted Cam at safety. Got half of it. And then yesterday, I was saying I wanted McLaughlin or Little on the Rams, and they got Bo. It wasn't that I didn't want Bo, but all the reports I had seen, if they were going to take an offensive lineman, it was going to be a tackle. So that was coming from Rams reporters, all of them. I didn't see an interior offensive lineman on any of those lists. And they ended up taking Bo. I wanted Bo. I didn't think, he's not a tackle, so I didn't think they'd get. I was tickled to death. I wish they'd have took Cam instead of the Cardi kid from Stanford. But when you get the number 1 player at his position in anything, you can't gripe. And Cardi's rated the number 1 kicker in the draft. Cam was number 2. But I'm biased. I would have taken Cam over him.
Yep. So speaking of that, Cam Little and Bo Limmer were selected in the 6th round yesterday of the draft. Cam Little went 212, and then Bo went 217. I think that Cam might have actually slipped a little further than what he thought he might have.
Yeah. Well, so did Bo, for that matter. And I thought McLaughlin didn't get drafted. They gave me the 2.5 Razorbacks drafted, and I took the over. I never believed Jeffcoat or Latham would get drafted. There were some reports that Jeffcoat might. I didn't buy that, but I thought for sure McLaughlin, Limmer, and Little would get drafted. Little, you never know about a kicker, Jason. You just never know. If somebody had taken a kicker, the first one was actually the kid from Alabama, believe it or not. He went off first. And once he went, then these other teams, if they'd have done that a round earlier on Reichert, then the team would on Little and Cardi quicker. But once that first one went off the board, then these other teams started, we got to get him. Because there was still that kid from Missouri, Harrison Davis, pretty dang good kicker.
Yeah, Harrison Mevis is great.
That's Arkansas on the other side. He never missed, so I mean he was good. But
yeah,
so I thought there was 4 really good kickers, and there may have been more, but I know of 4. And but once if Little probably would have gone around earlier, had that first kicker gone earlier. Limmer, I thought I'd seen one report going to the Steelers in round 3. I thought that was too high. I think that was Bleacher Report. I may be wrong. I think it was.
I thought
had a mock draft for him going to the 3rd round. I didn't believe that. I thought he'd go in the 4th, and he went to. I was or he 5th. 5th at the very, very latest. McLaughlin, I'm still trying to wrap my head around him. He went to the Vikings, I believe. Greer to Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And John Morgan went to where'd he go to, man? Was it Tennessee?
John Morgan. John Morgan ended up going to
Tennessee.
Story. Hold on, I had it. I'm sorry.
I had it in my story.
No, I've got it somewhere around here. Oh heck,
I can get it. I can get it real quick. I've got it.
Well, it'll be on the scroll there at the very bottom. Because he went to New England.
You're right. It was New England. Yep. And Greer to Tampa Bay. Al Walcott got invited to the Vikings camp, I believe. Is that right?
Buffalo.
Buffalo Bills camp. Yeah. God, I'm sorry, people. I'm off my game today, but
it's all good.
I mean, there was so much going on with baseball draft, but that's the one. Jeff Cote, I don't think has signed with anyone. I'm a little surprised. I didn't think he'd get drafted, but I thought he'd sign. I'm not sure Latham's even going to play pro football. Maybe he is, but I was really proud the Rams talk Bo Limmer. He was still the Rams guy I'm friends with that does this site out there that covers the Rams like we do the Hogs. He gave Bo Limmer an A-, the grade an A-.
Yeah, I saw that.
Rams an A- grade for draft. Cameron gave him an A- for draft, and he made the statement that something to the extent that you don't find very many athletic linemen like that in round 6, and he's right. And not only that, the guy is strong as a mule. That didn't get mentioned, but he's strong. Drake Stoops, a lot of people are familiar with him. Bob Stoops' son at OU.
Yeah,
he went to the Rams as an undrafted free agent. By the way, he signed with them last night. So I think they've gotten like 15 kids. I've got a list of. No Razorbacks or no Arkansas, nobody in state, but Drake Stoops was a name that I'd had people asking me about him, thinking the Rams might take him, but they got him as an undrafted free agent. I think he's got a chance to. Well, they did. They did take a wide receiver from Texas. I'm sorry, they did take. I was going to say since they didn't take a wide receiver, but they did take one. But Stoops, I think, has got a chance to get on the practice squad if nothing else.
Yep. So, kind of turning page for just a second. There's been some new faces on the hill since the transfer portal has opened up. One of the we got a comment on here from Michael Keesley. Says, should Hog fans be concerned that Pittman and company have not got an elite portal pickup yet? Because this year is a do or die for. It's Michael Kepsky. This is do or die for Sam and company this year.
I don't know what you call elite. I mean, they've got 3 solid players. You got a kid that plays a true freshman at Florida State at running back. I mean, it's pretty good. Larry Worth, I think, is an elite linebacker. I think he's big time. Yeah. They've got Anthony Switzer, I think, is made for that hog position. You got Linus Knoll, the third. Defense 6'2", 330, and then you've got JVR Suggs, who is leaving today. 6'3", 295 defensive tackle. I mean, he's a man. Both of them are. I've seen them the last couple of days. Suggs is he went to Portland, got 35 offers since April the 21st. So I don't know what you call elite, but I think Arkansas they've gotten solid players. I guess you're looking at, if you're talking about elite, I'm sure you're looking at the 24/7 or on 3, maybe the 4- and 5-star kids. That's fine, but they've gotten solid kids who can really help them. And I think Arkansas has gotten better with the 3 kids they've got. and they're on some more kids. I'm not concerned about when we talk about the portal, as I said on here last time we did the show. Somebody said it wasn't the top 10 class. I said, well, they got 8 starters out of the December haul, 8 portal starters. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, when Jaquindon Jackson's elite. I'll argue that. I don't care if he had 1 star. Jaquindon Jackson is elite. So is Xavier Sori, and so is Fernando Carmona. I'm telling you, those kids. Tavion Green probably is too, but I'm telling you,
Blackstock.
Yeah, Jaquindon Jackson, Fernando Carmona, and Xavier Sori are elite kids. They're elite. No, I think Arkansas, to answer your question, I'm sorry I'm getting off, but to answer the guy's Michael, I believe, or whatever his name, to answer his question, I think Arkansas has picked up 16 kids from the portal so far, counting the other haul too. I think they've gotten 16 kids. I think the only one that worries me is that kicker, because they need him, man. I mean, they need him. Yeah. He may be the most important. Well, not with quarterback. I mean, he's not the most important, but he scared me in the spring. He didn't look that good. But if that kicker, that would be 9 starters if he comes through. But no, I think with the 16 kids they've gotten, the kids that I know their own, I don't know if they'll get Noel. I don't know if they'll get Suggs. I don't know if they'll get them. But if they get those 2, they fix the defensive tackle. I feel good about where Arkansas is. I like this team. Look, man, getting rid of Enos and getting Bobby Petrino in here has made a big difference. Yeah, it's a do or die year, but you don't want to go into a die year with Dan Enos, your offensive coordinator. I hate saying that, but it's just the way I feel. But Bobby Petrino, I think Eric Mateus, I don't think Cody Kendi was a bad coach. I know people say he sucked and all this. I don't think so. I mean, his 2021 offensive line led the nation in rushing. I think it just, for whatever reason, he didn't connect with the kids. And I think they tuned him out. And I don't think he's not a bad coach, but I don't think he was a good fit for this team. I hate to say it because I like Cody. And then Kenny Guyton and Jimmy Smith were very good coaches, but I don't think Arkansas took a step back with Kobe Smith, and
Ronnie Fouch.
Coach Fouch. I mean, and Coach Fouch is a Lakers fan, so a Lakers fan. So I mean, they upgraded there, man. So I mean, that's an upgrade. Nothing against Kenny, but you got to be a Lakers fan, man. But a lot of the coaches are. They'll come up there and they'll ask me about LeBron and them guys, man. But anyway, no, I think Arkansas has not. I think they've upgraded the coaching staff. I'm not talking about necessarily Kobe being better than Jimmy or Ronnie being better than Kenny. That's not what I'm saying. Because I don't want you brag on somebody sounding like you're criticizing the old people. The only one I'm criticizing, the only one is Dan Enos, and I criticized him when he was here on this show.
Yep.
I didn't wait till he left. I did it when he was here. I said it was a bad.
That was in August.
Yeah, I've been ripping the hire since it was made. I knew it was a disaster, but Bobby Petrino, I think they treaded water on the other. I think the other 3, they didn't take any step back, and maybe they didn't take a giant step forward. Because I think the 3 coaches that left, other than Enos, were good coaches. So I think Mateus, for what he brings and fits, is better for this team than Cody was. The other 2, I think they didn't take any step backward, but they took a huge step forward. Bobby Petrino, people, I'm just telling you, man, and that makes a lot of difference. If you're offense, what worries me about offense. You know what I'm worried about? I am so worried that they're going to bog down the red zone. They're going to bring on a kicker, and he's going to miss a damn field goal. That's so automatic. How Arkansas would it be to have a great offense or a very good offense and not have a kicker after you've had an average at best offense, probably last year wasn't average, but you had a bad offense but a great kicker. And this year, I don't know it'll be a great offense, but it's got a chance to be really good. And one thing too, when we talk, you mentioned Blackstock. Here's the deal with Blackstock and Carmona. Not only are they able to play, but what they did bringing in those 2 tackles, it allowed them to move Kudos from tackle to guard. Kudos is not a tackle.
He's a natural guard.
He's not a bad tackle, but that's not his position. What it did, it allowed Mateus and Sam to put their 5 best offensive linemen in there and put them in their natural spots. Blackstock and Cremona are tackles. Cremona's a left tackle. Blackstock a right tackle. Addison Nichols is center. And then you've got Kudus and Braun at the guard. Braun left Florida because they, in part, because they put him at tackle. He said he hated that. And I told Sam one day, I said, he had him at tackle in practice. I said, Braun's going to kill you, man. I mean, Braun does not like to play tackle. He told me some stuff about Florida, about Napier putting him at tackle. He hated it, man. But Kudus not a bad tackle, but he's a lot better guard, and that's his natural position. When Kudus goes to the next level, it'll be to play guard. But he's like Bo Lemmer. He could probably play guard or center. He played some center last year, I think. But but no, I think I'm not worried about the team. I think there again, what the one concern, and Jason knows this, is the biggest concern I've had about the 2024 football season is that September schedule.
Yeah.
It's just you go to Little Rock, and I know that's August. I get it, but you play UAPB. That should be a gimme. You come back, you go to Oklahoma State. You play UAB here. Then you go to Auburn. Then you go to A&M. That's 3 road games. I know A&M's neutral. I get that. But you're playing Texas A&M in Arlington. That's not neutral. But even if it is, I mean, it's still, you're not playing in Razorback Stadium. So you've got 3 tough road games coming up in September. If you can come out, if Arkansas can come out of that stretch 3-2 or 4-1, they're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
3-2 or 4-1. Now, if they come out 5-0, good God, we'll probably be selling subscriptions and people will be wanting us on here every day. That'd be great. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's possible. It's possible they come out 0-5. I mean, but 5-0 is possible, but not likely. But 4-1 or 3-2, the bottom line is you beat UAB, you beat UAPB. Okay. That means to go 3-2, you've got to beat Oklahoma State there. You've got to beat Auburn there. You've got to beat the A&M and Arlington. You've got to win one of those 3. If you can win 2 of them, that's great. And I think you could have. I think they could win 2 of those.
Yep, I do too.
I study Auburn more. I mean, that's a tough place to play. I've been there, but Arkansas won there. I remember Fred Talley. I think he's still running. He was down there. Good God, he had a game down there. I know some of these fans remember Fred Talley's game at Auburn. I saw Fred not long ago, well, maybe a year ago, over at the convenience store here in Fayetteville. When I asked him, I said, Fred, have you ever stopped running to Auburn yet, man? I mean, he's coming out of the convenience store. I mean, my God, that guy. I've seen Fred. I mean, he ran through them like they weren't there. So they can be beaten there. I've seen it. But I just think that if you can come out of that schedule 3-2 or 4-1. Now I know they've got Texas, they've got LSU, you've got, God knows they've got a lot. You got to go to Missouri. They've got some tough games after that. I'm not saying that. In fact, they've got better teams coming up after September. You've got better teams coming up, but this team can ill afford a bad start. Is what I'm getting at, because of what the callers, the question, what the poster said, it's a do or die year, and the worst thing you want to do and die year is start out a bad record, start with 1-4 or something, or even 2-3. It would be getting kind of, because you do have some tougher teams coming up: LSU, Texas, Missouri, Ole Miss. So you've got some tough teams. They've got, but once you get through that stretch, you go to Starkville, which is a winnable game. You go to Missouri, which is going to be tough. But now, and with all of this said, I'm assuming they're going to play better at home than they did last year, because it was a disaster over here at home last year. Because if you don't play better than they did last year at home, if you don't do that, there's no chance for this team. I'll just say that right up front. We can talk about recruiting rankings, elite. We can talk about non-elite. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Throw it all out. If they played bad in Fayetteville like they did last year, laid one egg after another, they have no chance. They have nobody. Sam has no chance. They have no chance. I'm just thinking that's not going to happen. So I'm assuming whatever that issue was, they've got it. They're going to get it fixed. They may lose some games at Fayetteville, but I mean, they're not going to. They can't lay eggs here like they did last year. That the 7-3 to Mississippi State, you get blown out by Auburn, you get blown out by Missouri. I'm just assuming you get beat by BYU. I'm assuming they're not going to have a disaster Fayetteville games like they had last year. Because if they do, then it's over. It's over. So I mean, there's no point in, that's not a debate. That's fact. It's over if that happens. I'm just counting on that not happening. I've got enough confidence in Bobby and Sam. See, I think last year, and people tried to tell me that Barry Odom leaving hurt Sam, that he had Barry to lean on with some stuff. And I didn't buy it at first, but midway through the season, I started buying that. And now Sam's got Bobby to lean on instead of Barry. He's got Bobby to lean on. And where I think that comes in big, Bobby's got experience 4 years coaching here, head coach. Barry was at Missouri, but Bobby's got experience here, so he knows things to do. And I think he will help Sam immensely. And look, one reason I'm optimistic about the 2024 football season is Bobby Petrino. I really am. And coordinator, advisor to Sam, just his coaching, just his play calling. Bobby Petrino, the reason I'm optimistic. I had no optimism with Dan Enos. I thought
the way I look at it,
might overcome him, but they weren't able to.
The way I look at it, last season you had 12 games, and essentially you had 1 or 2 moments in a game where Sam was having to make a call that he might have leaned on somebody else to help him with. Now you have that one call a game that he can lean against somebody with, and somebody that has been not only in that situation, but been in that situation multiple times. And Otis, I'm glad to see you drinking water, my guy.
We're Red Bull and Gatorade. It's lined up here, man. Just call me.
There you go.
Call me the drinker, man. I've got them lined up here. I'll give Gatorade a little plug too.
I got my coffee this morning too.
Red Bull, water, all of it.
So as far as the portal goes, whenever Sam and company bring in a guy or guys, plural, it's not to sit there and have them as a backup, because the people that they're bringing in, they want to compete for a starting position. So I want to put that out there as well. These guys are not backup players that you were going to see possibly, late second quarter to give a guy a blow or something. These guys are going to be competing when they get here on campus for a starting position each time. Michael Kevsky said, "Oh, come on, Otis. Nobody remembers Fred Talley or Fred Gully for that matter." Which, by the way, I do. I remember Fred and Fred both. So they were great players for Arkansas. He said, and also Michael said, I will say that the running back from Utah is elite. Now, and I want to caveat, or I want to use this because here's the next point I want to bring up to you, Otis. All of this talk with the offensive side of the ball, which I think that Addison Nichols, center for Arkansas, will be possibly the game changer for that offense, because one, with the line calls and also getting the ball back crisp, it sets up the timing for everything, which you didn't have last year. Really with Bo, because Bo, he got the ball back, but it wasn't sharp. But that's a different story for a different day. With all of the talk with the offense, the defense has been quiet. They have kept continually getting better. They've been getting guys on that side of the ball. Like you said, with Xavier Sori coming in now, you've got Larry Worth, the third that's coming in.
And Albany that some think may be better than Jared Verse, who went the first round of the round.
Yep.
He was from Albany as well. And some people have told me that I'm talking about Arkansas fans. I'm talking about homers. I'm talking about people who covered Albany and covered those guys. And they think in some ways Anton may be better than Jared Verse was. I don't, but because I've always been high on Jared Verse, man. But if Anton's even in the conversation, which he is, he's a little bit bigger. He's bigger than Jared. Still, now he's bigger than Jared. But to answer his question about not remembering Fred Talley, hey man, I was around when dirt was invented, so I'm old enough to remember anybody. I don't hold that against you, man. I'm not going to hold that against you there because you don't remember Talley. Because I'm so old, I remember when God invented dirt, put it on this earth. So I've been around to see a lot of things, man. But anyway.
But I think it's really good for the defensive side of the ball with Coach Woodson and company.
Coach.
Yeah, Deke and Travis Williams and all those guys on the defensive side of the ball. Bobby coming in has that flash and has that gravitas where everybody wants to talk about them. And it's kind of let the defensive side of the ball kind of sit back and say, okay, we can keep making our gains that we and build off of what we did last year. Because if they're able to build off of what they did last year and get better next year, that right there is a recipe for success for Sam in this 24 season.
Well, I think one thing that probably, including ourselves, me and you probably don't bring up enough, is they kept their staff intact on defense.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's got. But I don't think that's got the publicity that it probably deserves. Is the fact that they've retained. Yeah. They were able to keep all 4 defensive coaches. Because you know, and I know, and everybody listening to the show knows for a while, the defensive line position was a revolving door. They were changing every year. Yep. Kids were playing for a different defensive line coach every year. Barry solidified the defensive coordinator position for 3 or 4 years. So he was here for a while. Linebacker position, that changed 2 or 3 times there. But the defensive line coach for a while in the secondary spot opposite Barry Odom, those were revolving doors. And they've been able to bring back all 4 of those guys on defense, barring anything happening between now and September. So that's huge. And that they needed that. And so these kids have learned the system. Landon Jackson coming back. He would have heard his name called probably Friday.
Yeah.
If not Saturday for sure. I think Friday on Landon, but I'm not the best at predicting when they go in the NFL. But Landon Jackson would have heard his name called. He came back, and now he's got the same coach that he's had the whole time he's been at Arkansas. That's huge. Deke's been here every year that Landon has. Getting Travis Williams to coordinate this defense again. They, like I said, Barry solidified that. They've had pretty much the same coordinator. They've only had 2 since Sam got here, Sam Pittman. But that's huge to keep Travis. But to keep Marcus Woodson and Darren Wilson, I think it's priceless, man. And then DCAM. So, yeah, I think that gets lost in the shuffle. We keep talking. Of course, we obviously talk about Bobby and Taylor Green, Jaquindon, and blah, 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 offensive linemen, deservingly so. But, yeah, those defensive linemen defensive coaches, keeping them was huge. And I think Anton started out a little slow in spring ball. He started out a little slow. He came on strong. He's competing with Nico and other kids for that starting spot.
Yeah.
You've got, I think, Worth and Sorey and
you got Brett Spence. You've also got Alex Sanford now that are back there.
I think you've got Spence, Worth, and Sorey. I think you've got 3 starters there, man.
Yeah.
And Worth's a lot better than these people think. They're only looking at recruiting rankings. I can assure you, Larry Worth is a lot better than you think he is. I promise you. And Sorey and Spence and Worth, and that's not even counting guys like you said, like Sanford and Carson Dean had a good spring.
Yeah. Carson Dean too.
He had a very good spring. Keaton Henley is starting to come around. Like I knew it would take him 2 or 3 years to get where he needed to be athletically, physically, and stuff. He's coming around. But man, I love Larry Worth, and he's what linebacker. I told him when I met him, I said, "You're what linebackers supposed to look like." He looks like the kids Arkansas plays against. He's tall, long, fast. He's what they play against, and so I like him. But no, I think they've got a chance. When I say they've got a chance to be pretty good, I'm not talking about 10-2 people. I'm not saying that.
No.
What I'm saying, I don't think 7 or 8 wins is unrealistic. Could they get the 9? Yeah, they could.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't want to write their obituary like the reporters did the Lakers, saying everybody talking about they got swept. They didn't get swept. I don't want to write an obituary on a football season before the games are played. So they can go 12-0, or they can go 0-12. But no, I think realistically, looking to schedule, if they get off to a good start in September, I think 4-1. If they go 4-1 in September, I don't think winning 9 games would be out of question, Jason. But I don't know if they'll go 4-1. Don't go off here and say Otis Kirk said 9-win guaranteed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if they get off to a good start in September, if you win 3 games, I think you've got a legit shot at going 8-4. If you win 4 games in September, I think you've got a legit shot at going 8 or 9 wins. And to me, I mean, I look at that 21 season when they went 9-4. They went 8-4 in the regular season. They beat Penn State in the bowl game. They were 9-4. I felt pretty good about that team. Now there's some people saying that's you're settling for mediocrity. Okay, maybe I am, but I'm looking at what they're doing, where they're at in the program. If they can win 8 or 9 games this year, look, I'll be very happy with that. And I don't think it's out of the question. I think Taylor Green. I think the kids like Taylor Green. I think the players like him. Jaquindon Jackson, to me, you add him with Jaquindon. I'm sorry, with Rashad Dubinion, Braylon Russell, Dominic Johnson, Rodney Hill. You know, I mean, Rodney Hill plays a true freshman at Florida State. People, I mean, it's not like he sucks. I mean, he's never really.
And that Florida State team also won 10 games.
Yeah, it's not like Rodney has ever reminded you of Darren McFadden, but it's not like the kid stunk. I mean, let's be honest. I think a change of scenery will be good for him, and he's not going. I mean, you know, he's buried some here on the depth chart. So, but I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I may be wrong. Now, obviously, injuries can change everything. Injuries can change the whole 99. I mean, we can say that about anybody. You let some key player or two go down. I mean, you know, you let
they're a snap away from Malachi Singleton being the starting quarterback.
Yeah, and you know, and maybe Malachi could be fine. We don't know because he hadn't played. He didn't get in the game last year. That's right. He didn't get in a single game. So we don't know.
Or hell, KJ Jackson for that matter, which I think might be the near future for Razorbacks anyway.
Good. I'd hate to see him get thrown into the Wolves mix next year. I don't think he's ready for that. I'd like to see him get some snaps, be the third string quarterback and get some snaps next year. But I don't think he's ready. Well, I know I just feel he's not ready to step in there as a starter. I hope he doesn't get thrown into that mix, but they'd have to really get hit with the injuries there. Taylor Green, I feel like he can. Taylor's a difference maker. He really is. Jaquindon, man, I may be overrating him, but I think he's stud. I really do. I don't know. Is he? Anybody listening to this? Is he? How do you compare him and Rocket? I mean, Rocket's better. Okay, is he? I mean, I don't know.
I honestly think that Jaquindon's got better lateral movement than Rocket did coming out of the backfield.
Rocket didn't have, and Rocket's got some strengths he doesn't have. Yeah, there's no doubt. It's like Coke and Pepsi, or like, you know, like Gatorade or whatever. You know, it's water or you know, I mean, Aquafina or you know, whatever. It's your taste, personal taste. But they both have strength. But Jaquindon and Rocket are both really good running backs. But there's some
also
things
one of the
does that are better than what Rocket did. Now Rocket does some things better than Jaquindon.
One of the things that I do want to point out too is that when Rocket got on campus, he was 6'1", 6 foot 220. He was a wide receiver, and they packed on 20, 30 pounds on him, and that does have a difference in your body now versus, say, for instance, like Braylon Russell or Jaquindon Jackson that come on campus. They're already that size. Yeah. They have played. Well, okay, for sure, Jaquindon at the D1 level with that size and that weight, he understands how to, I wouldn't say maneuver it better, but he's been more used to playing it at the D1 level than, say, for instance, Rocket has. And Braylon Russell has been playing at that weight for a little bit too. So that I think there's a little bit of a difference there.
Well, I think Braylon's naturally just a big kid, just a man. Naturally is that way. They made Rocket into that. I think the difference with Jaquindon and Rocket was Rocket came in from high school at that. Jaquindon's got 1 year of college left, so he's a lot older than Rocket was at the same time they came to Arkansas. So it's not fair with Rocket, you know, because he was a lot younger. It's a lot different when you, for Braylon and Rocket, they both came in from high school. I think Braylon's just a natural big kid. I'm telling you, man, on that 30-something yard touchdown run, whatever it was at spring game.
Yeah, 34 game. Yeah, 34.
Nobody wanted to get in front of him down about 20 yards after he got that speed going. I'll tell you, Braylon Russell has good speed. what happened to Braylon in high school? He was very good. But what happened to Braylon in high school? He battled nagging injuries all the time. He had nagging injury, foot injury, just stuff that kept him from being full strength, even though he played. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to put words in Braylon's mouth, but I think he told me when I was over, John and I went to to Benton, covered a combine last year. And Braylon came out there, and he didn't have to talk to me, but he did. And we did a long interview. He wasn't working out in the combine. He just came over there. He was in Benton. But Braylon told me, and I don't want to misquote this kid, but I'm pretty sure he told me that he took the boot off some to play his junior season. And then after the game, he would put the boot back on. I'm pretty sure he told me that. And that's incredible. But he had that foot injury. And I know, but he told me he wore the boot, and then when they went to the game, he'd take it off. Then after the game, he'd put it back on. That's a man. I mean, that's a tough kid. And but Braylon is naturally big. He's fast. But Jaquindon, to me, he's got a chance to really do some great. There again, Jaquindon fought nagging injuries at Utah last year. He talked about that, Jason. I've got all the quotes. And he talks about he stayed hurt last year all the time. He went ahead and played. I think maybe all the games or maybe 7 games comes to my mind for some reason. I don't know, but he played, but he was hurt a lot. But yeah, if he can stay healthy, because there again, folks, when we talk about these teams, you can talk about Arkansas, Missouri, Ole Miss, Alabama. Now, some of these schools have better depth than Arkansas and stuff, but for the most part, you get 2 or 3 key players injured, you're screwed, man. I mean, yeah. Georgia might be able to overcome something like that, but Arkansas, no. And for the most part, most of these schools, I'll tell you, Lane Kiffin's getting to the point down there at Ole Miss, he may be able to afford losing a key player or 2. He's building. Yeah. That guy's done an incredible job, and I'm not surprised. I'm not picking Ole Miss on here, but I'm giving credit where it's due. I mean, I'll be critical of somebody, but if they deserve it, I'll give them praise too. Unless it's Drinkwitz, and I'm not praising him, but no matter what. But Lane Kiffin, I will give credit to.
Yeah, I also want to thank Thomas.
Like Eli, no big deal.
I want to give a quick shout out to Thomas Gibson and Otis, and the reason why I want to is because it seems like every time you and I do a show, or Dudley does a show, Kevin does a show, whoever it is, that guy is up there. He's always on Hogville on Facebook. He's liking it. He's watching the shows. I want to give a special shout out to him because it seems like I wake up, Thomas Gibson. Every time I wake up, man, I'll see like 6 or 7 notifications. Thomas Gibson likes this. I'm like, that's who I'm talking about right there. That's the guy that we love right there because he's the one that follows us through thick and thin. And I know a lot of y'all do. And Otis, I want to tell you something really quick. I just found this out right before we got on. So I came on with you guys last end of April, first part of May timeframe, and the YouTube page had right around 1,600 likes. I got on today, and we're almost up to 3,200 now. So we have doubled in the last year.
You've done to continue the growth. Not a good job. You've done a great job with that. And I just want to say, I appreciate it. Look, man, I appreciate everybody listening to this show.
Yeah.
I mean, because without fans, you and I don't have there's no format. There's no job.
No.
I mean, we're not going to sit here and do this show to talk to me and Jason. I mean, we've got to have people watching. And that's why I say it helps us. It helps me particularly. It helps Lanny probably more so than me. If you go to that hogville.net and go to that Kirk's Corner. And now, look, the team stuff's on Monday Morning Quarterback. Yeah, I know Kevin puts his on basketball and Dudley puts his on baseball. But if you're wanting the football team stuff, Monday Morning Quarterback's where it's at. If you want the recruiting stuff, football recruiting, it's on Kirk's Corner. That's where, and that helps Lanny. It helps all of us. Ultimately, if it helps Lanny, it helps all of us.
Yep.
You go there and register and participate some, or even just go there. Like I said, you can get a question. You can get your answers there a lot of times because this portal stuff I've got on there, everybody who's visited, the dates I'm talking about, I broke it down to the April portal deal. You don't have to wade through all the early signing stuff. I've got the April portal updates, who I know they've offered, who I know is visiting when. And if they visit, I've had a story on them. and I'll have one on I'll have one on the defensive tackle who got 35 offers since April 21st at noon today. I'll have a story on him at noon today. I've got to write that when we get off of here. I've interviewed him, but I got to write the story. But yeah, I mean, you get a lot of information there, and I know Dudley baseball, and I know Kevin with basketball, and like Monday morning quarterback. If it's team stuff, that's where your information is going to be, is on Monday morning quarterback. And people, I hear people say, "Well, I don't like message boards." That's fine. You don't have to sit there and read every post, but you can find a lot of that. Look at the headlines. If it's something like the April portal deal, whatever my headline is, go there and click on that and read it. You don't have to read all of it. Just read that if that's what you're interested, whatever you're interested in. And I have the update. Pig Trail Nation's got the site, the carousel with all the updated stories, not just from me, but from the Pig Trail Nation. Ask Mike is a great artist every week, man. Ask Mike.
It is.
Mike Irwin's awesome, man. He does a great job. Not a good one. He does great.
And he's a nice guy too. And a lot of people kind of, mistake him for the get off my lawn type of guy. But honestly, he just doesn't like dumb questions.
Well, Mike's a lot like me. I answer questions direct, and I did one this morning on Facebook, and guy thought I was mad at him. I'm not mad when I answer. I'm giving a direct answer. I'm not mad. This guy talked about, because I was ripping the NFL yesterday for their format. I don't think a real football fan would like the way those. Look, when I tune in the draft, I want to see the players who's drafted. I want to hear their names. I don't need people dancing. And I see enough that look at me crap in this world without seeing it NFL draft, getting on there, introducing it. I said, what happened to when they announced the draft picks? Then they talk to the draft picks or show film of them and stuff. That's what I want to see. I'm not interested in seeing someone from Egypt introduce a player and carry on and sing. They had one doing the beer and the songs in Ireland or somewhere. I mean, good God, just give me the draft. I'm a football guy. It's not, like I said, I wasn't cranky. I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at that guy when I said it. I don't feel like I was cranky. I just didn't like it. But I will say this: when I posted that, everybody that responded, I think everybody, maybe not everybody, but 99% of them agreed with me. Nobody. I don't see how a real football fan liked that format. I don't know how they liked it. That's just me. If you like it, that's fine. I don't care if you disagree with me. That's fine. I mean, just respect. Just show respect. I mean, that's why I don't like people coming on my Facebook page and taking shots at LeBron or stuff. I don't go on their page. And like I said, this stuff about political, vote for who you want to. I don't care who you vote for. Vote for who you want to. I've got a son who loves Trump. I've got a son who loves Biden. I don't care. I tell them, vote for who you want to. I don't care who people vote for. I don't care. I don't like politics. But I feel like don't go on people's page and disrespect them, And like I said, I don't care if people like LeBron or not. That's fine. But you don't have to go on my page. I've told you, don't come on my page doing that. I'm going to ban you. I'm going to block you. It's just, I'm sorry. And if I go on your page and do that, I expect you to block me.
Exactly.
I don't go on people like avid Donald Trump supporter page and rip Donald Trump. If I do, you should block me. Or Joe Biden page and rip Joe Biden. I'd say I believe in voting for who you want to. I don't particularly like either one of those guys. So it doesn't matter to me who you vote for.
So next week, Otis, you're going to come up with a trivia question for the masses here for Hogville.net on the Razorback Football Report. Mike Perriman was the winner of the bobblehead set, and here is a picture of that bobblehead set right there. You get Tusk 1 through 6 right there, and he'll win all 6 of those. And I'll get his information here in the next couple hours and get that all set up with the guys over at the Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum. That's what they'll also win next week.
Mike Perriman.
Mike Perriman. Yep. He was the one who He guessed it correctly that Hagen Smith, entering into the Florida series this weekend, had 100 strikeouts on the season, just over 54 innings, which equates to 17 strikeouts per 9 innings, Otis, and that's insane.
Stud, man. Hagen Smith is a stud. I'd love to be his agent. Hell, I'd like to be Hagen Smith. I mean, I'd like to be Hagen Smith. I mean, God, he's going to be rich. That guy is good. He is a stud. I mean, I was covering the game Friday night, and he had a little, rough by his standards.
Yeah,
he hit a guy in the first inning, and he got out of it. But and like I said, that's not really a rough inning, but by his standards, it is. But then he retired. I think it was 17 batters in a row after that before he allowed anybody to get on base. I think it was 17 straight. Maybe it was more than that, but I believe 17 straight hitters. He retired. In other words, he did it with one out in the first. He allowed a single, got an out, hit a guy, then got two straight outs. Yep. Then I think he went 5 straight innings, not allowing 3 up, 3 down. I'm pretty sure it was 17 in a row. He retired after that first inning. And like I said, when I say it's a rough inning, only by his standards. I mean, by anybody else's standards, that's probably a good inning. I mean, he didn't allow any runs. That's a good inning. But Hagen is a stud, man, and he is the real. This team has a chance to be in Omaha and celebrating at the end of the tournament, World Series up there. I'm not saying they will, but they have a chance. And honestly, when you're looking at April the 28th, that's about all you can ask for is hope they got a chance right now. And they have a legit chance. And at April 28th, you're halfway through the season, or probably you're more than halfway now. You know, you're more than halfway, a little bit more than halfway. We're right there. And, they've got a legit chance. And so far, they've avoided Stovall was out for a while. Mason missed this series, but Stovall's back. Mason's, we will be back. Diggs is going to get out of his slump. They need to get him healthy, whatever it takes. I don't know. Maybe they need to set him for a weekend. I'm not Dave Van Horn. Dave's forgot more baseball than I know. But they got to get Diggs going, but because he's good. He's good, man.
Yeah, he is.
Now, I don't know if it's because of nagging injury. I know he's had some nagging injuries, but I don't know.
Yeah, that shoulder.
But if everybody's clicking, come Omaha or come regional, super regional Omaha, this team has a chance to do a lot of good things. Dudley will probably be getting Lanny will be getting his travel budget out for Dudley because they got a chance to be doing. Well, obviously the regional should be. I'm sure the regional will be here, and it looks like probably a super regional would be here too. But But beyond that, they'll probably travel like the SEC tournament and the World Series if they make it. But they can be great. That team with Cops didn't even get the World Series, so I mean, it requires some luck. You got to be lucky.
Yeah,
you got to be good, but you got to be good, but you got to be lucky too.
And Jay Johnson mentioned this too. Whenever I spoke with him with the LSU series, he said that in order to go far, you have to have a little luck. He said that great teams force the other team into some mistakes that result in some luck for the team that they're facing. And that's what that's the position that Arkansas is in, is that they're forcing other teams to make some, like for instance, Peyton Holt's pump fake yesterday that locked up a guy on second and he fell down. And then locked up the dude on third, and they ended up getting him out. And I'm going to tell you what, that was one of the best pump fakes in center field I have ever saw.
Well, look, people say you're like, look, that's what I said. It's no coincidence in 2020 the Lakers were the healthiest team in the bubble. Guess who won it? The Lakers. And when people talk about Denver's going to dominate for all these years, I said, this is the 3rd year in a row they've had all 5 starters healthy. Can we assure that next year they're going to have all 5 starters completely healthy? You let Nicola or Murray or Gordon or one of those guys, let them go down, and it's not the same. I'm just telling you, man.
Yeah.
But that's not a shot at Denver. They've been lucky with the injury. You've got to be lucky. The Lakers.
Look at the Bucks with Giannis.
2020, they were the healthiest team in the bubble, man. That's not a shot. That's just a fact. If you're playing. There's a reason you got starters, and to have your same 5 starters all 3 years It's huge for Denver, and it gives them a chance. Doesn't mean they'll get it, but it gives you a chance. But you know, I mean, Lakers have been without Vanderbilt, and he's the best defensive player other than AD on the team. It's just you've got to be lucky. Jay Johnson's right. You've got to be lucky, and I don't know why people take that as an insult. It's God's honest truth. Arkansas is going to have to be lucky to win 8-9 games this fall. They're going to have to be. They're going to have. Taylor Green can't get hurt. Quentin Jackson needs to be out there. You can't lose Fernando Carmona. You've got to have your key players. And it's not a coincidence that the healthiest teams usually are your better teams. There's a reason for that. People say this next man up crap. Look, if the next man up was as good as the guy starting, he'd be starting anyway. So don't give me that next. I get when you get the next man up, you're doing that because you have no other choice. I get that. You're doing it because you have no. I mean, that's the attitude you got to take. But don't give me the next man up, because if the next man up was as good as the guy starting, he'd be starting anyway. So it hurts you when you have especially a bunch of injuries. One thing, like I said, Georgia and a few of these teams, maybe Ole Miss, Alabama, a few of these teams may be able to overcome an injury or two more than others. No doubt they can. But eventually, some key players getting hurt will kill your team, and it damages you, man. It hamstrings you. It ties you up, and we'll see what happens. But Arkansas needs luck with the injuries. Oh man, any team you want to name needs luck with the injuries. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's not an insult. I don't know why people take it as an insult when you say that, because it's not an insult. It's God's honest truth.
Yep. All right, well, Otis, let's get you out of here, my guy. You got to get ready for Pig Trail Nation. Coming up here pretty soon, and be sure to get the story as well. And also, you got a trivia question that you got to get prepared next week, and for everybody to give away one of these fine guy sets.
I'll get it and email it to you this week, Jason. I'll email it to you. Get it to you ahead of time.
Okay, no, that'll work, and we'll get that all set up. So for Otis and myself, Jason, I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us today. And this has been the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk here on hogville.net YouTube. Take care.